Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Mama, that Atari is it still remaining? That Atari is it still remaining? That Atari. Where did we keep it there? Give Kolade to bring it for me. I said me, oh, Kolade. Thank you.
What do you want to use it for?
What do I want to use it for?
Yeah,
it's a good thing that someone is supposed to be using sometimes. When you grow older. When you grow older, you understand. Mama. I'm coming, oh. Hold on. Licky. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the man of thought, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria, aka the villain of truth. First of all, Jesus Christ. Even inside estates, they just keep disturbing. I want to use this moment to appreciate those who joined me yesterday on the live episode we have where I spoke about the negative side from African culture. And they say whenever we want to take, do they call it alligator pepper? Yes, alligator pepper, you don't talk. So any question you have for me for the day, you can just put it. Any conversation you want to go on with. This is Wednesday morning, huh? Yes, today is Wednesday. So please write whatever question, maybe about our subject, anything that is popping up in your mind. Please, you can put it out. I'm coming back. When you eat alligator pepper, you don't talk. That was the reason why I was quiet. We call it herbs. Herbs. These are part of the things that men are supposed to be eating. subsequently, because most of the drinks we take today make us feel cold inside. And when you feel cold inside, your body is not going to function that much. We are warm-blooded animal. We are not cold-blooded animal. Too many of us like taking cold things, including me, I myself speaking to you. So you need to learn to take these things because they energize and they make your body warm. With that being said, South Africa, K from South Africa asked me, good or bad? I don't know. What kind of question is that? K, K South Africa said, K, K, am I South Africa? I don't know what that question means. I don't understand. Good or bad? Let there be context to your question so I know exactly what you're saying. Are you from South Africa? Are you saying what is my perception with South African? You have to be specific. Any question for the day? I appreciate those who joined me yesterday on live. Those who are joining right now, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe because we always have things that are very important. We discuss on subjects that are very important. Okay, from Zambia, you're asking if South Africa are good or bad. Oh, now I understand. I am not from South Africa. I am from Nigeria. The reason why you thought I'm from South Africa was basically because of the cap I was putting on, right? I'm from a Yoruba tribe from Nigeria. And then when you talk about xenophobic, I heard they are xenophobic. If you observe, if you understand humanity, you would realize that it's not about xenophobic, tribe, racism, whatever we call them, those are just human stuff. And the idea is this: whenever people feel threatened by one issue and they are not civilized or educated enough or informed about those particular incident that is going on in their life, they are prompt to, act in a negative way. Not quite long, we saw the UK attacking Africans, blacks in their country there. Now, if it is the UK attacking blacks over there now, we don't call it xenophobic, we call it racism. If it is Nigerian fighting a different tribe, we call it tribal, being tribalistic. But all these things, when you go to churches, even in religious places, these things happen. So the truth, only what I can say is this: as a person, I respect and I love my country so much. And if I have to go to another man's country, even if it's an African country, if I have to go there, I will go there respectfully. I would not walk anyhow. I would know exactly where I'm heading to and what I am going there for, and I go for that purpose. The idea is not for me to see everything. I cannot see the whole world. So I have to, this is their home. And certain people, when you go to other countries, there are places that, regardless of the economy situation, some people will not be doing fine and some people will be doing fine. Those who are not doing fine, if they see you, for example, they would like to intimidate you because life is not going well for them. If I have funds with me, enough funds with me, I will be generous with them. And that brings me back to the conversation I always have with certain individuals who will come to Africa and they think that, oh, we are supposed to move everywhere in Africa. Let me tell you one thing about Africa today. Open your eyes very well. Specifically, if you're from maybe Western country or cultures and you come to Africa, once we see you, maybe you are black or white, whatever color you are, when you get to certain areas, we would know that you are not part of us. Our eyes can see, our nose can tell, our ears can listen to what you have to say. We can look at your movement, we can look at how your eyes move around, and we can tell that you are not from that particular culture, or you are not from our tribe, or you are not from that environment. And here is the danger there. If we know that you associate yourself with certain individuals that we know, we would welcome you. If we know that you are not associated with anyone, let us say that you go to a place where there are all these thugs or people who are going hungry, the chances that they could kidnap you or hurt you is very high. You know why? The reason is simply because they understand that if you are mingling with someone who is within that environment, the law enforcement can easily trace the situation and hold them. In fact, you would hold them, the person who is close to them will hold them responsible. But if you come from a different country and you don't have an associate, and you just come to somewhere like Nigeria and you go to a poor neighborhood and the rest of it, and you're staying around those particular area, even if you buy a property or something or stuff like that, they know that whatever they do to you, nobody will ask, where did you go? And because they are aware of that, they most likely will take the advantage to extort you, take your phone, take money from your account, do whatever they want to do to you. The same thing is applicable when blacks go to where they are whites, this white stuff, and a black guy just move around there. Before you know, they point out a gun at you and they threaten you. It happens. We see all these things on social media often. And let's not pretend as if we are all holy. We have to be specific in where we are going, and we have to create a relationship with those particular people that we are going to see. Don't just jump from one country to another and you think that the old people will accept you. I think anyone who is going to accept you are people who have not learned from history that you have to beware of strangers. Kay is asking a question. He said, does Boko Haram still exist in Nigeria? They exist in this country. Yes, they are in Nigeria. 1000%. But when they talk about Boko Haram, it is like them telling you that Boko Haram is everywhere. There are few places, and mostly it's in the northern areas. That's where you will see Boko Haram. And it is few places in the northern areas also. I could remember when the issue of the UK attacking the blacks, when they started talking about it initially, I felt they were attacking all the blacks in the UK, until I realized that it was between maybe like a 2 states or something like that, between 2 environments. That's where those stuff are actually happening, maybe 2 local government or something like that. It wasn't general, because I have friends that are in the UK, and I talk to certain individuals who are in the UK, and they say they are fine, nothing is going on with them, but they heard the same news. So when they talk about Boko Haram, they make it feel as if Boko Haram is everywhere. Boko Haram is not everywhere. But for me, I think that humans, we have a lot to do. And by 7 today, 7 p.m. Should it be 7 p.m.? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's one will be by 9 p.m. I've been working on many stuff that we'll be discussing about. With that being said, those who haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe. By 7 p.m. today, there will be an episode that is actually coming up. We are going to continue on our conversation. And that reminds me, I haven't seen most Nigerians on my channels. According to the algorithm, they tell me Nigerians are mostly watching me, but I'm in Nigeria. Africans rarely speak when it comes to YouTube. Maybe most times it's because a lot of them love to insult. So if they haven't seen any reason to insult you or abuse you, they don't have anything to say sometimes. But I have few of them who participate, or, people like Olubode Adeola. It's been a while that I spoke to those individuals. So good morning. Kay from Zambia. What time is it in Zambia right now? Are you in the morning or? Because I'm kind of confused. It seems African time are general, but when it comes to other countries, there's always issue there. You hear all kinds of stories. Overemphasize, primitive backwardness, and the rest of it. Please, whatever question you want to ask me, any question you want to ask me, that is sensible question, please do ask. I would be answering you this morning. I'm just spending out some time. I don't have much I'm doing this morning. I've done most of my assignments, but I don't want to debunk everything that I've written. Or will you want us to go into the biblical issues? Oh. And to K, how is Zambia over there? How are you guys enjoying your Zambia place, and how is Zambia as a whole? And you were asking a question about this xenophobic of South Africa. All those things are just normal. They are just normal. The important part is that when there are no good communication or good conversation going on within the social media space for us to inform and educate ourselves, we are going to act. Those actions shouldn't be surprising to anyone. If a South Africa begins to attack Nigeria, begin to attack Zambia, begin to attack Kenyans and the rest of it, we shouldn't be so surprised about it. It is about information. When you have wrong information, it gives you wrong perspective about those individuals. And this is the reason why we are also introducing the idea of Blacks and Africans coming together, welcoming them. And for me, I want to inform Black Americans on what they should be expecting with Africans. Those who are willing to come back home. Because let me say this, it is so unfortunate. Those people who are in Black America or in all those places, it's like when you look at the source of their wealth and the rest of it, it doesn't look encouraging. It doesn't look as if those are our lost brothers and sisters. They are not lost because we have found them. The only thing is that they are afraid of coming back home. But the Western culture, if it is possible for them to come back home and we accept them, which I know some of us do, most of us are informed and we welcome them, but it's just like they also need to understand home before they come home. Some people who bought houses in the Western culture, the way they are being treated there is so alarming. Is this English correct? Is it appalling? Appalling or alarming? Alarming, I know that one is good. Appalling, me, I don't know what appalling means, but maybe it's same thing as alarming. But it doesn't sound good. When you get a property or you get a car or you get something and you are able to invest in your world, then you have to start paying all kinds of taxes tax for house, tax for this. In your own property, when you get a land, for you to dig a borehole, you have to collect permits. For you to do anything, you have to collect permits. For you in Africa here, Nigeria specifically, if you're buying a property in Nigeria, the only thing they would ask you is when you are building it, this type of structure. You have to, the architect, they have to know the kind of structure you want to build, the kind of materials you are going to be using in those buildings. Those are the primary things they focus on. But nobody will keep extorting you. And this is the reason why Africa is still one of the best places, because it's our original home. If I'm in my home, I have certain rights there. And the way most of the blacks over there are being treated, it seems as if you don't have rights there, because it's like it is not your place. They are just keeping you there just so that they can use you to do a lot of stuff for themselves. And I'm not saying all Black Americans or all blacks outside the country to come back to Africa. No, that's not what I'm saying. If you think that's what I'm saying, you are getting the message wrong. I'm saying those who are interested in coming back to their mother's land and their father's land. That's my focus. It is about interest. Because there are some people that the perception they still have about the blacks is still that we don't also, about Africa is like, we don't know what's up. We are living in the zoo, in the jungle. And you wouldn't want those kind of people to come back to Africa, because if they do, it's not going to be funny. And I would hate to see Africans have issues with their lost brothers and sisters due to. Thank you very much. JT Coin Rings. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Amazing. I am blessed to. I never knew there was anything I've done that would warrant a blessing from me this morning. I was just here just to talk to people, and I've been blessed by JT Coin Rings. Thank you. I appreciate. I'm really grateful. Trust me, whenever a gift is being given to me or in our place, we always say thank you. And sometimes we can't stop ourselves from saying thank you. It is a Yoruba culture stuff. And in Yoruba, for example, we might see you the next day and we tell you thank you. We might see you 3 days later and we tell you thank you. We might see us 4 days later and we still tell you thank you. Some people ask, why do we love saying thank you, thank you? I think it's just inside of us it's just part of our culture to always appreciate. Yoruba, we have a sense, and it says that ẹni tá a bá ṣe lóore tí ò bá dúpẹ́ ó dàbí ọlọ́ṣà kónilẹ́rù lọ. That statement simply means that if someone does good for you and you did not appreciate the person, you are like a thief that stole from someone. Appreciation doesn't mean you are giving back to the person, but you are acknowledging that I appreciate the gifts that is being given. And I thank you very much, JT Coin Rings. So like I was saying, my mission and my vision is to make sure that we unite Africans and the blacks over there. Because if we can come to this, part of the research, I've done certain research, which I don't want to start speaking on. All right, sir. All right, sir. There are a few things that I've discovered when I started doing certain research on the blacks and Africa and, the solution to the old stuff. I wouldn't say but if we can follow a few steps and we can walk step by step and inform the world, things will get better. In fact, I have certain things that I've put together, things that we can do as people to make sure that those who want to come in a safe hand. Though I would need sometimes I would need the union of few individuals also, so we can, guide our brothers and sisters through who are coming from those Western places and they want to come to Africa to invest. Because investing in Africa, I always say this, if you're black, I don't want to say some things because I'm on live, in Africa, to become a citizen of Nigeria or any African country is as easy as ABC. As easy as ABC. The funny thing is that when you come into Africa, there's no such thing as class. We only know about the rich and the poor. Simple. And rich and poor is in every other country. There's no such thing as first class citizen, second class citizen, third class citizen. It doesn't exist in Africa. Maybe it does in certain places. Nigeria, Ghana, and the rest of it, it doesn't exist. We only have rich and poor. So if the blacks over there decide to come to Africa, don't be fooled by the idea that Africa is overpopulated. That is a lie from the pit of hell. Anyone who tells you that Africa is overpopulated, that is a lie from the pit of hell. And I said it. The reason why they keep giving the false narration about Africans to the Black Americans or Black people outside the country is to make sure they don't come back. Because they understand that these people have kind of helped them to grow their economy and grow the country and the rest of it. And they know that if majority of you come back to Africa, then they are going to lose. This is not an issue of war. This is not an issue of, but they are going to lose in a big way because Africans or blacks have helped to build many countries. So the best way to keep you there is to give you a narration that when you come to Africa, you are going to get Ebola, you are going to fall sick, you have HIV, we are carrying guns and we are shooting like a Rambo. Whoever we see, we just take up guns and we start doing stuff. Then they paint our picture with Boko Haram. You can even see my own brother from South Africa or from Zambia asking me about Boko Haram in Nigeria. It's funny. Now, I'm not denying the fact that these things exist in certain areas, and it's basically because of certain political people. But don't think that we have 36 states. Where these things happen is just maybe around 3 states in the whole 36 states. And I can tell you for a fact that even this information they pass across, it even affects we, the Nigerians. And you're going to see that majority of Nigerians, majority of them are in Lagos, in a particular state. In fact, Lagos is the smallest state in Nigeria. And all the youths, majority of the youths are between Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, just within maybe 4 or 5 states. And I'm telling them, when you're talking about, oh, the government, our government is not providing, I don't need Nigerian government to do anything for me. The only thing I can plead for is just bring the fuel prices down, and I'm fine. Because hunger is not a problem if Nigerian youth or African youth take their future in their hands and they do what is proper, what is right. In the sense that we begin to invest and go into farming, we have too many things we can do. We have too many vast land that we haven't even used. We haven't used 15% of our land for cultivation. We haven't used it at all. But it's so funny, you go on social media and you listen and they tell you that Africa are overpopulated. Like, which world are you living in? We haven't occupied 15%. So these people who are outside the country buying one property and the second property and the third property, and they are paying tax for all those property, if they can decide to invest in Africa, in safer places. And I'm not saying you just go anywhere in Nigeria or anywhere in Africa and just invest. No, you have to make certain research and then invest in those places. You would most likely not get extorted. Canary King, good morning. Canary King is asking, why are the youths not happy? It was like a subject I treated on Sunday, and I said, any country where people are fighting for revolution or they want revolution in the country, it is because they have abandoned their responsibility in the first place. When you abandon your responsibility, it is easy that everyone, you are supposed to speak, you don't speak. Activists are supposed to speak, they don't speak. Youth are supposed to go into political issues, they did not, or political space, they did not. The things you're supposed to do, when you don't do those things and you keep silent every single time, when the problem starts accumulating, then you get fed up at some point. And when you get to the last bus stop, then you decide, oh, let's tear everything down. That's the problem of Nigerians. The youth are not happy. Yes, we understand that fuel prices are high, but I've been saying this thing, including the president of Nigeria. I do not like the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I don't like him that much, but he's our president. There's nothing we can do about it. We elected him one way or the other. He found himself in that particular position. For him to be in that particular position, he said something. He said, Nigerians should all make sure that each and every person knows the leader of their local government chairman. Most Nigerians don't know that. Most Nigerians would not do that. Everybody wants to work in corporate office. Everybody wants to work in the bar. Everybody wants to live a certain kind of lifestyle. And he's saying, and part of the things he has been saying is, we need to go into farming. And some people will say, why isn't the president going into farming? You want to compare yourself with someone who is already doing fine, who has many industries in many countries? This is our own homeland. I am doing well kind of in Lagos, but I decided to leave Lagos and come to Ogun State. Ogun State, they have vast land here, and I'm investing. When you are talking about hunger, it has nothing to do with me. Hunger has nothing to do with me. And I'm not removing myself to say, oh, it's because I've been able to make it. I haven't made it, but it's because I've been able to find my way. That's the reason why I am saying what I'm saying. No, it is that we are abandoning the things that we can do. Cultivation, agriculture, this is part of the things that Africans we have. Nobody can take those things from us. But a lot of us want to work in corporate office. Everybody wants to work in the bank. And so when you want to work in the bank, whatever the government does now, it doesn't affect me that much. But whenever the government say, if there's only 2 naira rice in the fuel, everybody shake. Why? Look at houses. This property I bought, this was one of the first property I bought. When I bought this property about 2018, it was over 6 million. Let's just say everything is 7 million. Then I did a renovation and everything for 9-10 million. Till date, you will see a lot of people in Lagos paying house rent of 30 million naira just to live in the highland, 35 million just to live in the highland. When you can use that same money to get 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom, get vast land, go into agriculture and do a lot of things. You just want to be in a particular spot just because the watch you clap for you that you are in the island. We abandon the things we are supposed to do as people. I came from a very poor background. And I understand that my vision is not to be a billionaire. I don't have a vision to be a billionaire. I came from a very poor background. I have to build the family to a different level. If someone who their parents were very rich before, I wouldn't blame those people if they say they want to go outside the country to work. Yes, because their parents has already established certain things that they can fall back on. But I came from a place where I have nothing to fall back on, so I have to build it slowly to a particular degree. Most Nigerians, their parents have nothing. Their parents has failed them, yet they still want to live like they have made it in life. So they would always have issues. Agribusiness is very big worldwide. One of the most profitable industries. USA imports almost 800 million honey every year. True. When everyone is focusing so much on technology, the question you have to ask yourself, are we eating iron? We have been eating food. Organic food is the best thing you can ever have. Regardless of all this industrial stuff that is going on where they cook, where industries are creating kind of garbage for people to feed on and the rest of it, it is still very, very important that we build organic fruits, we do organic food. If not, most people wouldn't be falling sick if everyone is eating the right thing. Don't they like US dollar? They do. They do. There was a president we had before Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said something. He said Nigerian youth are lazy. And the Nigerian youth were crazy and angry that why would a president come up and say that Nigerian youth are lazy? He wasn't talking about labor. He wasn't saying Nigerian youth are not laboring or they can't labor. That's not the kind of laziness he was talking about. He was talking about mental laziness. So what he meant by that statement is they are not thinking enough. I'm in Nigeria as I speak to you. So there are many things we can do as people. Everyone wants to be a musician. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. Everybody wants to come out and, act in one kind of way. I am going into plantations. I'm trying to do more of poetry stuff. I have few things. Whatever property I have, I make sure I do few things about agriculture and the rest of it. Life is easy in Africa if you know the right things to do. In fact, you feel more relaxed in Africa if you know the right thing to do. But it's not about, it's not about dollar. I think that one of the failure of all these things is parents. There are certain parental issues in Africa, which is that I could remember when we were growing up, they used to teach us more about we learning our studies, like being educated, and most importantly, being hardworking. And being hardworking, the problem is that most of the rich people had told us to be hardworking, but what they mean by hardworking is to be a laborer. And so a lot of people have that mentality to be a laborer. But hard work is not about labor. Hard work is about thinking on how to do things more effectively. That's what work is supposed to be. So everybody wants to stay in Lagos. We are following some of us, not all of us, because I know many people in Africa, in Nigeria specifically, who are actually doing fine, who are investing in other things. But majority, they have become so materialistic. They want to buy Wivon of 500,000. They want to do their nails of 2 million naira and the rest of it. So why don't the youth export honey and receive US dollar? Now that you are even saying honey, I have to crack my head again. and start asking myself, because right here, this is honey. You can see it. Hopefully my light is not too bright. We have many honeys in this place, but maybe I should be thinking about investing in honey too. See it, honey. And this is original honey, very thick. Original honey. This is not the one that they mix with anything. Confirm honey. So now that you're talking about making money in dollars, at least if I can give certain people jobs, if I can go into production and I know more information about it, maybe that's going to make sense along the line. So Canary King says, isn't Nigeria honey natural and organic? The honey from China is diluted and mixed and not as highly valued. Well, this is organic. There are many organic places for honey in Nigeria. But trust me, because of certain people like to make extra money, sometimes some of them would dilute theirs. But I don't think that anyone who is trying to take their business serious in Nigeria specifically, I think to get organic honey is very easy. In fact, we know how to just say organic. We just know if this is organic and if it's not organic. We can see it. So if the youth are taking it serious, to export organic honey is not an issue. As much as they understand that, okay, it has value and it's giving them some profit and the rest of it. You know, the problem sometimes in Africa is for people to just start. So sometimes we kind of need, in Africa, we kind of need I think there's an importance of the blacks coming back because they have certain experience. And I think, I'm not saying that they are our savior to save Africa, but I think that they can also help open our mind to the things that we are not accepting fully because they already understand the system in the Western culture. But ignorance is part of our issue here in Africa in some places. And those in the Western culture also, the blacks, they also need to understand a few things about Africa. I'm talking about our lost brothers and sisters. And when they come, they know the right investments to go into, to venture into. When we can welcome them and we show them few things that we have many things, and we can show them how to invest and the rest of it, they will be able to know what they should do, and it will be more easier for them. So I think that if we welcome our brothers and sisters, Africa would be a better place without necessarily we depending so much on the government. That's how I view it. Trust me, that's how I view it. For me, as an example, when I want to make there's also cash in cashew. Yeah. I'm learning. Where's my pen? Honey cashew. Yeah, I've heard about all these things. You know, sometimes I think there's an export body and the rest of it. Funny enough, one of the issues we have always had is the idea of individuals teaching you exportation, and they tell you they want to teach you how to export and the rest of it. And then before you know, they start collecting money from you. and then you pay them a high money, and then they don't give you all the resources, everything they promised you they are going to give to you. Those things kind of discourage a lot of people. Like for me, I've been through too many seminars. Exportation for this, exportation for that, how we will teach you to become a millionaire, you just pay for all kinds of seminars, and they go on radio station, go on every station. And then you think because they are sounding from radio station, that means they are going to be saying the truth. But most of them lie. And maybe that's part of the things that makes Nigerians get, but I think that's just an excuse. I think it's just an excuse. Please, if there's any question also, Canary King has touched on honey and cashew exportation. I'll be looking into that. I have few properties, land at Ibadan, certain states. I still have few lands there, so I can start and give certain people jobs over there. And sent to India and Vietnam, where the seeds are processed into nuts and exported to USA and Europe. All right. All right. It's good. At least I'm learning one or two things. At least I'm learning one or two things. Cool. So I have few properties I would think about, few things, because I've been working on what do they call it? Turkey farming, plantain, some kind of vegetable, coconuts. I have all those ones are available. I have them. And I just do most of them for consumption and to give out. Sometimes I occasionally sell, but the African countries produce 60% of fresh cashew worldwide. So we have a lot of stuff here that we can actually do as people in Africa. And I think Nigerian youth sometimes, part of the culture of Africa is that we have so many entertainments, and the people just want to be entertained sometimes. And because they want to be entertained, they forget the fact that there's a duty for them. The duty that has to do with them at the moment and the duty of the next generations to come. And that's what I always clamor for, that Nigerian youth should take their life serious. If we are complaining about our government, what are we doing about the whole situation? These are the things I've been talking about. Certain individuals will study their books and the rest of it, and are easy to raise Nigerian consciousness to a wrong direction, telling us to go and protest and fight the government, push the government, throw them into gutter, cause revolution and the rest of it. I'm like, we are abandoning our responsibility, and now we are getting upset because things are not going our way. It's our fault. Our fault. If I go anywhere and they call me a Yahoo boy, if I travel out of the country and people call me a Yahoo boy, it is our fault as Nigerians. I wouldn't blame them for calling me Yahoo boys. Because we have to change the narration of how people perceive us. And we need to understand that in life we are telling a story, and that story becomes a reality at some point. So if we take our future in our hands and we don't just try to entertain ourselves every single time in life, just to dance, play, joke, and the rest of it, we would do something unique with our life. Trust me, most people in Africa or in Nigeria who steals, who does kidnapping and the rest of it, Some of them will just tell you use hunger as an excuse. Most of them is not because of hunger. Some of them are feeding fine. Those are just excuses. They do it simply because they want to prove to others that they've arrived. When I bought property from a very terrible real estate in Nigeria, they call them Arkview Investments, that took me to jail. They lied on me because I was freeing the landlords in the estate. They were collecting 28,000 naira, including electricity bill and service charge. So electricity bill was about 23,000. I was against it. Right now we are paying 6,000 naira because I had to fight for it. I had to go to prison for it. When I went to prison during that time, I saw a lot of kidnappers who have been apprehended in jail. Most of them confessed to me. Even they did not admit that they are kidnappers, or they did not admit it. But when you look at them, they had other things they were doing in their life that they were making money from. Their family were doing fine. But just because they want to have this flamboyant lifestyle, they want to come up and be Jandon, to be called Dons and the rest of it, they put their hands in things that are not okay. And so sometimes contentment is a great blessing. You don't need to have everything in life. African has forgotten who we are as people. We have forgotten who we are as people. They've indoctrinated us to the extent that everything that matters now to African is all about money, 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 material, material. In fact, if you go to other African countries or even to the Western cultures, when you see a Nigerian person, they will tell you that Nigerian people are rich, Nigerian people are wealthy. Yes, we have people who are rich and who are wealthy. The question is, how did they get rich and how did they get wealthy? And the reason is, the idea again is this: why must they go everywhere and the world would know that they are rich and wealthy? You go anywhere, they know you are rich and wealthy. In my life, I like trekking. I can trek to very far place. If they tell you that this guy is, except you come close to me before you know that, oh, okay, this guy is trying for himself. But now it's all about how the world sees me, let the world praise me and the rest of it. We like honor, and we don't understand how to gain respect without money, how to be fulfilled in life. We've forgotten all those kind of stuff. And trust me, I'm not saying there's no importance for money. Money is very important in the society, in the life of everyone. But sometimes when you overpraise certain things, it takes charge of you. It becomes an idol to you. And when you begin to worship money as an idol, you're going to do a lot of evil things. Trust me, in Africa, to become rich is not that much difficult. For those who know about traditions and culture, to become rich, bloody rich, is not difficult. But you also have to ask yourself, what's the cost for you to become rich? Sometimes you have to take somebody else's life. But if we raise our consciousness as the cultures and the traditions that our ancestors has laid down for us, we will realize that we are different people, and what has kept us together is because we kept watching each other as in the aspect of family. This is what makes us who we are. We are family oriented, relationship oriented. These things are bigger than money, what money cannot buy. How many wealthy, miserable people do you see in your life today? There are many of them. Many. and everything we think about is just about the moment, the moment, the moment, and so we are paying the price one way or the other. But I believe, I'm very optimistic. When people say Nigeria can never be good and all of that, I'm just like, what do you mean by Nigeria cannot be good? Anyone who says Nigeria cannot be good is only looking at the political space. If you're thinking about the political space only, then that means you have a minor way of seeing life. It is not about the political thing. It is that if Nigerian youth begin to wake up and do their duties and begin to invest and begin. There's a guy I know in this environment I am. His father gave him almost 700 acres of land. When I came here in 2018, the father died and they gave them almost 700 acres of land. 700 acres of land. 700 acres of land. What they have right now is not up to 20 acres. They've sold everything. Out of 700 acres of land, they don't have up to 20 acres now, as I speak to you, between 2018 and now. So, do you blame the government for that? And trust me, the blaming game is very interesting. Thank you, Subrosat the first. Says, I think you know true wealth. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't expect it to just germinate instantly. Nature gives everything a time space. Nature wants to be sure that you actually need it. And if you need it, nature wants to nurture it for you, but it wants you to do your own part. And you have to do it slowly, so nature can entrust it for you. If you want to plant a flower in the garden, it wouldn't take long for it to grow. But if you want to plant a tree in a place, it will take time for the tree to grow. You have to water it every single day. Watch it. You take your time. Because the idea is not just the fruit. The idea is that there is a meaning to it. And for you to have meaning to anything, there must be the ability to suffer with it. Suffering is important because food means nothing if you can't go hungry. So nature wants us to labor a little bit, show that you actually desire it, that I am giving you what you want. That's what nature is doing when it tests you. Nature wants to be sure that I am giving you what you want and you actually need it. Because if you put an apple seed under the ground and you begin to water it every day, you are telling nature that you truly want the fruit and you are patient with it, and while you water it and you take good care of it. Yes, so when nature gives you the fruit and you begin to eat the fruit, you feel relaxed that, yes, this was my labor. You will value it. Whatever you did not labor for, you can't value it. It's as simple. These are still part of principles to make you, I was just talking few minutes ago, and I wasn't expecting. Somebody gave me $1. That's from JT Coin Rings. Gave me $1. And every time I see stuff like this, someone like Rusty, there was a time Rusty gave me almost 40 pounds or so. The Ember. Sometimes she also, there's a lady, the Ember, support me in multiple ways. When I started this, the idea was for me to provide for my communities and to provide for some of my people who I find in prison who didn't commit crime and they are going through challenges, to get them fan because they are suffocating because the way they pack them like sardine. So if we can get them some fan and they can have fresh air on their body, I can't feed everybody. I'm not the president of Nigeria. I can't feed everybody, but I can do some things that they can always remember me for. And the idea of us even suffering to build things is not just because of us. It's so that we can be a blessing also to others and we can teach them how to do what we have done. But I hope Nigerian youth will wake up one day and they realize, some of them do, but it's just that they are rare. And it's like the issue of what was going on when someone was talking to me about Black Americans not being accepted by Africans, or part of the situation they are facing when they come to Africa is that they are not being welcomed. And I'm like, we have to start this discussion. We have to talk about this subject. And they are like, no, we don't want to, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to come out. I'm like, if you decide not to engage with something and you have a problem, that problem will be there. You can complain from today till tomorrow. The problem would not go away. You have to talk about it. You have to engage to change the problem. So those are part of the reasons why I make a decision to make programs like this and talk about subjects like this, bringing people. Through the YouTube stuff, I've been able to meet up with great people in my life, people who I never knew, who showed me love in different scales, networking and the rest of it. But I still have my life and I still enjoy whatever I'm doing. I've been given offer to go to UK. I've been asked to, oh, will you come to abroad? Will you do this? Any offer people give me to travel outside the country, just like, uh, I'm sorry. I just like my country. I'm just so blessed in my country. It's like you taking the tree from the, you want to remove the roots and the tree or the fruit, something like that. I'm just happy being here, doing the necessary things I need to do for my people and communities. And I know gradually we'll grow into something. What the future holds, we don't know. But if we can do our best, if everyone is happy, what am I looking for every single place? But I also think that it's also important that you know, we unite as people. Tribalism would always be there. Racism would always be there. I don't care what anyone says. Those things are always going to be there. But if we can raise our consciousness and awareness to understand when we are being tribalistic, we can always correct ourselves one way or the other. When we understand that these are our brothers and sisters, we can see them because there's an historical factor to it. And we know that we share the same ancestral past and we understand all these things. We wouldn't be cruel to one another. That doesn't mean we wouldn't disagree on many things. Yes, we will. But we'll be fine also. Well, I'm about to take something else, which is they call it alligator pepper. I will be coming back by live around 7 p.m. today. For those who will be joining me, thank you. Please join. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. 7 p.m. African time, we are going to be having subject to discuss. Please join me by 7 p.m. African time. Thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate Canary King, Sobrosa the First, and JT Coin Rings. Thank you. This is the first time I heard from JT Coin Rings, and it blessed me. May God bless you. I'm really grateful. Kay from Zambia. Thank you also, and every other person who has been joining me. Constitution Andy. I think I know Constitution Andy. Thank you also. So I appreciate you all. Please do not forget, subscribe to the channel, like, join membership, support in any way you can. I'm grateful for everything you guys are doing. Meet you by 7 p.m. Have a great day. Adios, amigos. Bye bye for now.